the hidden weight of collective and secondary trauma, how and why I believe that we are all having a collective trauma response right now. We're also going to talk about sisterhood, true feminine power, what it really means to be a self-led woman, and what does it mean to be a leader. This is the kickoff for my celebration live streams that I'm going to be doing here. I'm going to be doing in the private members group on my other YouTube channel. We're now kicking off the 7th year anniversary and birthday sale for my company's 7th year birthday and my 44th birthday as well. So I love to do some live streams and celebration parties for that. And I really was tapping into, what does the world need from me right now? What is the truth of my heart and the moment? And what really came through was this topic. And I really sat with this because I know that this can seem like kind of a grim and dark topic to be kicking off a celebration with. But I got here from being honest and truthful and authentic of what was really happening in my life and what I could sense was happening in the collective. And so that's the theme I'm going to continue. So welcome in Level Up Queen members. We've got Kabibi here. Thank you so much for the birthday wishes. Thank you, Goddess. Thank you, Christian. I appreciate my members so much. So why do I feel like there is a collective and secondary trauma situation happening right now? So let's define both of these terms first. Collective trauma is obviously when groups of people are experiencing something at the same time. This could be a situation of war. This could be racial discrimination. It's just when communities or groups of people are experiencing and having a similar like a trauma at the same time. So that's a collective trauma. What is a secondary trauma? Secondary trauma is also known as compassion fatigue. And what this means is when we are experiencing another human being, whether it's a loved one or someone we're watching on the internet, experiencing and going through something horrific, it can bring up either our own trauma if we felt something or experienced something similar, or it can just bring up our empathy and compassion, but it can also activate a trigger response in us. There's also a third type of trauma that I see happening right now. When there's someone in our community that has been, it's being collectively burned at the stake, vilified, kind of talked about, that can lead up to what I have coined. This is actually taught in like trauma training, but I've coined my own term for it. I call it the persecution wound trauma. So if you know, based on our tribal history, one of the things that tribes would do if someone was standing up against what was the status quo or the norm of that time and of that tribe is they would be publicly punished so that everyone can like see that as a, hey, stay in your place. Don't stand up and talk against the group. And it was like there was an example made out of them. As you can imagine, people that are watching that were terrified. And so even when they needed to speak up for something, they couldn't now. They would choke because they did not want to be put in that situation where they were now publicly vilified or whatever. Like some of the things that used to happen in tribal settings was like they would publicly, the men would stand around and like shoot them with darts until they died. So, I mean, this is like serious stuff. And when this doesn't just hurt the person that you're doing this to, it hurts the people that are witnessing this happening. And I believe that right now, we are all experiencing extreme secondhand trauma. There's wars going on. We just went through a very kind of roller coaster political election in the United States. There's things happening online every single day in these little sub niches, and we're all seeing this, and it's bringing up a lot of stuff for us, and it's bringing up a lot of stuff for the collective. And so let's go here first before we get into the good stuff. When someone is experiencing a trauma response, whether it's their own stuff or something, like I said, like a secondary compassion fatigue, anything like that, our nervous system becomes dysregulated, right? We go into a nervous system response, either whatever our go-to is. Healthy human beings have the ability to do all four of these. We have the ability to go into fight, flight, freeze, fawn. And other animals have the same ability, and it depends on which one is required in the moment to survive, right? Well, we all have a go-to response. We have something that it's been locked in us where we either go into the fawn response, the fight response. So we all have, instead of being like, healthy where we can use all of them when they're needed, what happens is we all have a go-to response. And we don't just use this when there's an actual threat. Of course, you should, fight for survival in an actual threat. But when there is a perceived threat, like watching something on the internet or watching a movie, and that dysregulates your nervous system, we go into one of our like comfort zone ones, whether it's fight, flight, fawn, or freeze. So when something like, let's just use the example of something happening online. Some people will see something happening, have a trauma response, even though it has nothing to do with them. It's a collective or like a secondary trauma response, and they'll start fighting because that's their go-to dysregulated state. What does that look like? Fighting looks like blaming other people. It's your fault. It's your fault. It's your fault. You brought this on upon yourself. You did this. They're gonna fight. It's a very outward, like I'm gonna fight. They're literally having a survival response for a perceived threat. And sorry for lack of better words, but acting a fool online. So blaming people, and it's like, regulate your nervous system, right? Calm down, regulate yourself, right? Some people will have a flight response because that's their go-to. And what that means like is they will turn off that whole situation and they will say, I'm just not even gonna look at that. I'm just gonna stay in my lane and I'm just gonna ignore that hot mess. And so that's gonna be their system. They're gonna fight. I'm sorry, they're gonna run away, they're gonna flight. Both of these are a survival response. Some people will start fawning. They will start people pleasing. Now, fawning and people pleasing is very different than being compassionate and empathetic. Fawning specifically means I'm not here anymore. It's all about you. How can I make you comfortable? How can I make you like me? Do you think I'm nice? Do you think I'm good? It's like Mina has left the chat and it's just all about you. I'm not here. It's like the equivalent of a little kid kind of like hiding in a blanket, just trying to like, let me just make this all about you. That's very different. That's not a very highest good of all setting. That's also a trauma response. Okay. And the last one is freeze. And the freeze one is there's this shock that happens. You watch something. There is this anger, this energy that bubbles up. You know it's not safe to express it. It's not socially acceptable to express this anger. And so there's a part of you that numbs it down and you don't know what to do. This is you. And if you're having a freeze response, you're going to start feeling really tired right now. You're going to feel very fatigued all of a sudden. You're going to want to go just lay in bed and cover yourself up and take a long nap, like a couple of years long. You're like, wake me up in about a couple of years and I'm good. And all of these are states of survival. our very intelligent body system thinks that doing this is going to help us get out of this perceived or real threat that we're experiencing. Right now, if it's online, the example I'm using, it's a perceived threat. And none of these things really help us when it's a perceived threat and we're just having a collective experience. And so people who have been doing inner work on themselves for a really long time, they've been working on their triggers, they've been working on their trauma responses, they've been working on their nervous system regulation, they're going to notice what's happening inside of them, catch themselves, pause, and then actually choose not a reaction, not a nervous system reaction, but they're actually choosing a high value response. Very different thing. And the people that end up choosing a high value response, they become the future leaders. They become the leaders. People think there's a big misconception, especially in the female world, because women are not used to being in positions of power and leadership. They think that if they vilify someone else, if they push people under the bus, if they hold people accountable, that's going to make them leaders. It's not. That's not how leadership works. That's going to create massive insecurity in the people that are following you. They're not going to know why, but they're just not going to trust you. You think you're putting yourself in a position of power. Nope. You're going to attract the energetic match to that. And I'll let you speculate what the energetic match of that sort of power, faux power, is. What creates true leadership? And we mostly have men to study for this, some women, but mostly men, because women have not been allowed to have these positions before. We're now stepping into that. The divine feminine is having her moment, is safety. And you cannot create safety for another human being when you do not have safety inside of you. When you have not done the inner work required, like the real inner work, not mental inner work, not knowing, being. When you have not done that, you're not going to be able to create that. You're not going to be able to create, you don't have something inside of you. How are you going to create that for another human being? You can talk about it. They're not going to feel safe. So your nervous system, as I talked about in my 3-week nervous system reboot, is a field of energy that is projected out from you, and it interacts with other people's nervous systems, either down-regulating, up-regulating, co-regulating, co-dysregulating. And so this is all happening unconsciously behind the scenes. These are the moments where the true leaders just rise above the rest naturally. They just do. Because they just show up creating a safe space for other human beings to co-regulate with, to learn with, to grow with, to expand with, to calibrate with. We're all calibrating with each other, correct? Okay, so I really wanted to start here because I was looking back at my 7-year journey. We're celebrating 7 years as the official Universe Grew anniversary, even though it's going to be almost 14 years on January 11th for the channel, the YouTube channel. And I was thinking, what does the world need from me right now? What's on my heart? What do I need to discuss? And in the last 14 years that I've been on YouTube, it has been my extreme great pleasure to watch women rise, watch women self-lead, watch women learn, grow, evolve. I've had a fabulous journey, continue to do so, of learning and growing. And one of the things I've learned is that leaders do inner work on the stage. And I've had the pleasure of doing that in the last 14 years, doing my inner work on the stage of YouTube, while people watch. And sometimes it's been one of the scariest things I've done. And sometimes it's been the most beautiful masterpiece. And at other times it's been duality and growth and evolution and confusion and getting back up and falling down and doing all the things. Yeah. I stopped following a content creator years ago because I noticed how much time she spent holding people accountable and throwing people under the bus. That's the trauma response. So many bad vibes, and it made me uncomfortable because it's down regulating your nervous system. It doesn't make you feel safe. So let me give you an example. I have you guys know I have 3 kids, 2 boys and a daughter, and my daughter is 10. Let's say that if my daughter walks in the room and I'm talking to one of my girlfriends and she hears me bashing another woman. I'm not talking about my daughter. I'm not bashing her. I'm bashing another woman. What do you think that creates in my daughter? Safety? Like, oh, mom's such a safe place to land? Or does it start planting little seeds of, oh, I better not do that. I better not stand out of line. I better not say the wrong thing. It creates massive insecurity. And of course, I've had to do tons of inner work to be able to get to this place where I'm very mindful of the things that I'm saying, because I know that either I'm creating dysregulation in my loved ones and my family members and the people that follow me, or I'm creating a place of safety. And we're all human. I'm not perfect. I've made a lot of mistakes. I'm a trauma survivor myself. I've had to do incredible amounts of inner work. I'm grateful for every second of it, even the most difficult parts. But as this new phase of leadership steps in for me, for you, for all of us, I have to hold myself to a higher standard. As I have discussions with my best friends, with my community members, with my daughter, I know people are watching me. I know people are listening. And the things that come out of my mouth are a result of my nervous system state, and that impacts other people. I am responsible for the field that I bring. Yes, you show us all the sides, not just the good parts. It makes us see that the ups and downs are normal, but if we stay on track, we can create the life God dreamed of us, 1000%. This is the first time we've been given this massive opportunity as women collectively to be able to hold positions of power. And this makes both men and women really uncomfortable sometimes. Not everyone, but some people are really uncomfortable with this. Hell, I'm uncomfortable with this sometimes. It takes a lot. I've never done this before. I don't have very many examples of this. What does it mean to be a next level feminine female leader? We're creating this. Oh my God, wait, I have to go first. I have to go first. Oh my God, what if I mess up? I will mess up. I will. And then all of you are going to watch me get back up, dust myself off, and get back on stage. Because that's what leaders do. Leaders do their inner work on stage, in the public eye, when everyone else is watching. It's one of the scariest things I've ever done in my life. Very scary. And yet here we are, 14 years in, celebrating the 7-year anniversary. Where's my balloon? What happened to my balloon? Okay, that one's looking like not so fresh anymore. Here's the 7 years. Okay, so we've been celebrating all month. First, it was Lady Ball's 1-year birthday. Then it's my company's seventh year in business. And next week this week is my 44th birthday. And I feel like we're all stepping into a new phase of female power. What true power looks like is when you yourself are having a nervous system reaction, how do you respond? Not react, respond. So let me share something super vulnerable with you guys, like super vulnerable right now. Like we're going there. Super, super, super vulnerable. So I grew up with the fawn response and the freeze response. So in my childhood, there was a lot of criticism. There was a lot of S trauma. You guys already know my story. Most of you guys know my story. If you don't, Lady Balls is a great place to start to learn my story. And I learned to just shut up, keep the peace, and just like get through stuff. Okay. And I used to massively fawn, which is people please. I talked about that in my book. That's why I wrote a book for people pleasers, because that was a big thing in my life. And eventually, my healing started. And the first part of healing typically starts with, it doesn't have to, but this is just typically how it starts with in trauma work, is another one of the dysregulated states will step in, and that will become your go-to for a while. Remember how I said in a healthy person, you have all four responses and you should be able to use the ones that you really need in an actual threat, not perceived threat, actual threat, and being able to know when something is a real threat versus a perceived threat. That's a sign of a healthy nervous system, a healthy human being. Well, I wasn't fully healed yet. I was starting my healing. And so when I was a teenager, the flight response kicked in. And so I went from being a people pleaser, from fawning and freezing to flighting. And there's shadows and gifts to all of these. There's positive things in flight and shadows, but positive things in fight and shadows, positive things in fawn and shadows. It's shade and light, ups and downs, gifts and shadows. And the gift of the flight response really matched the alpha gene that I carry, which is become hyper independent, give everyone the energetic finger, don't get involved in other people's stuff, keep looking down, focus on the thing you're supposed to be doing, cut everyone else off. Anyone's acting a fool, bye. Stay in your own lane. That's how the flight response looks. And this massively helped me. Let me just tell you, it massively helped me because it was healing. It was starting to heal the fawn response and the freeze response. So this helped me until it stopped helping me. It helped me for a while, and then it totally stopped helping me because all of a sudden I found myself running away from situations that I actually needed to stay for, that I actually needed to work through, that I was actually needed in. And then the next phase of healing stepped in. When I became aware that, oh my God, I am creating internal shame because there's things where I didn't want to run away, that there's things where I wanted to have conversations, where I wanted to work through things, but I didn't. Because I didn't trust myself to go back into like people pleasing and fawning. And so I was like, let's just freaking run away. Let's just look the other way. Now, there are situations where I'm not qualified to speak up. I can't help that situation, and it's best to run away. Like I said, all three of these states there's healthy versions of them. But there were certain things that happened in my life where I shouldn't have ran away. I shouldn't have looked the other way. I should have stayed and dealt with those situations. But I didn't. My nervous system reacted before I could respond. And so then the next phase of my healing started. And this phase was incredibly uncomfortable. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. One of the most difficult things I've done. When all my nervous system wants to do is freaking run in the other direction, I have to stop and pause and regulate and then contemplate and then respond. Why do I do this? It's not for someone else. It's for me. Because I deserve to be a healed, whole human being. My children deserve to have a healed mother. My husband deserves to have a healed wife. The people that look up to me in my community, you guys also in the online community, in my personal life here in Houston, they deserve to have a healed human being in their community. And one of the scariest conversations that I had around this was, this thought, I was like, what if my kids grow up and they are going through a situation, God forbid, they will, unfortunately, this is life, this is duality, they will. And I get dysregulated, my nervous system, and I get up and I run because that is what I do. What am I going to do? Look the other way when my child is going through something? What am I going to do? Stay in my lane? My children are my lane. And I realized I wasn't going to suddenly do that 10 years out if I didn't know how to do that now. It's not how it works, right? We think, oh, we'll just do it in the right circumstances. No, your nervous system will do what it's programmed to do, what you have trained it to do. And that thought was enough for me to be like, okay, what help do I need to get? Because I'm not going to abandon my kids or stay in my lane or look the other way when they need me, which means I have to do this work now before they're grown. This was like a decade ago. I'm having this conversation, right? And it's been a work in progress. It has been such a work in progress. It has been such conversations with myself of what does it mean to be an integrity to who I am? What are things that I don't want to speak up on because those are not the posts God has assigned me to? And what are the things that it's very important that I speak up on? If nothing else, so I don't end up creating internal shame for myself that, hey, Mina, you could have helped here and you didn't. So that's what this process looks like. Is we're going to have to do the real stuff. And this is not a mental process. You can tell yourself all you want to, how you should react. But if your nervous system does not actually know how to pause and regulate, you're not going to be able to do it. You're not going to be able to do it. This has been some of the most hardest inner work that I've done. Hardest inner work. And that's why I'm so passionate about what I teach. My channel has been about inner work, growth, self-leadership. And I never wanted to be a leader to other people. That was not my goal. It was not ever the desire. I kind of got put in that situation. And let me be honest with you, this year I've really seriously contemplated if I want to be in that situation. Do I want to be a leader for other people? And I realized that I have completely gotten myself out of survival that I can even have this conversation. Because before this, it was just like self-lead, lead yourself, Mina, lead yourself, Mina. Because maybe I was still in that part where there was still a part of we're still surviving. But when you start asking bigger questions, wait a minute, am I a leader for other people? Do I want to be? Why are they seeing me that way? Is this what I signed up for? Is this what I desire? That's when you know that you've truly gotten yourself out of survival, because you cannot be having that conversation when you're in survival. That requires next level of self-awareness, of integrity, of love, of compassion. And I'll be honest, this year it's been really hard, that decision for me. It's been a really hard decision because I don't need to be a leader. It's not actually one of my desires. I'm extremely introverted. I've shared this with you guys. I don't care to be in the public eye. I don't know why God chose me over someone else. I wish it was someone else, honestly. A lot of times I'm like, why? This is not what I want to do. Why do you keep putting these desires in my heart? I don't want to do this. And I don't have any financial need to do so, which makes it incredibly harder. Because I'm like, I could just not. And I'd be living a fulfilling whole life. But then there's this constant little voice, this desire that keeps being put in my heart of wanting to leave this planet a better place than I found it. Because I found my first memory is being essayed as a child. That's my first memory. what kind of a world do I want to leave for my children? If I didn't have children, maybe I wouldn't have given a fuck. I'd be like, you guys are on your own, bye. But the fact that I do have children, I'm probably gonna have grandchildren, and I now have descendants. Now I'm all in. God has trapped me now into, okay, you don't want to do any good, then this is the planet you're gonna leave for your kids. He made it my problem. He made me put skin in the game when I necessarily didn't sign up for that. And so I'm really calling upon women to do their own inner work, because when we can get ourselves out of survival mode, whether you like it or not, you now step into not just you get yourself out of self-leadership. It takes a lot of self-leadership to lead yourself out of chaos and duality and reactions and trauma responses. But girl, if you want to know what it takes to lead other people with their own stuff and their own addictions to suffering and their own opinions, and some of these people will be trying to beat you down while you're trying to lead them out of it. Talk to any of our male or female previous leaders, they will tell you so. They will tell you so. To now decide once you're out of survival, if you want to activate the next phase. And this year I've spent a lot of energy, time, prayer, conversations with friends, mentors, leaders, coaches, asking myself, do I really want to take on this assignment? Do I really want to? Because that takes a lot. It takes a lot. It takes a lot. Some of you are still in that position where you need to stop reacting. You need to stop reacting. You need to start doing the serious inner work that is required so that you can show up as a whole person that is proud of your actions, proud of the words that come out of your mouth, proud of the behaviors, coping mechanisms, all the things that you do. You're proud of the person that you've become. And this year is the last year I'm doing this, but I have a long-standing history with this, but this is the last year. But I'm doing my once a year birthday sale, you guys know, on all my inner work courses, all my bundles, except for my 3 core offers. And that is, the code is alchemy24. I'll put in the chat and I'll put in the comments later for 24% off all courses and bundles, except for the 3 core offers. Some of you guys need to start your inner work. Some of you guys need to continue, but it needs to happen. Because if we keep reacting, we're creating more trauma, we're creating more collective suffering, we're creating generational trauma, generational curses. I decided that I was going to be the one that broke my family's generational curses and trauma. Because it ends with me. It ends with me. The trauma ends with me. The healing begins with me. I'm the safe space. I'm the one. I decided I'm the one. And so this code is valid until December 1st, this Saturday, I think. Yeah, Saturday. And I'm changing the direction and I'm rebranding for 2025. So I will not be continuing some of the rituals that we have been doing, like this sale, but I will be creating new rituals. So there will be other things, but I'm not going to be doing this anymore. How to overcome feelings of shame, embarrassment, and avoid isolating because of that when someone criticizes me. So when someone criticizes you and that triggers you, that means there's something in you that also criticizes you for that thing. And so that's where the inner work begins. So we find where that is showing up somatically in your body. A lot of time in talk therapy, they will just process it with words. In my work, we do somatic healing, nervous system stuff. And so we release the original trigger so that when criticism comes towards you, there's nothing for it to hit on. There's nothing in you that magnetizes that to it. It just passes through. People criticize me all day long for all kinds of stuff. And here I am, 14 years into my YouTube career, beautiful life, healthy, happy, vibrant, radiant, contemplating whether I want to be the next level leader. Like those are healthy conversations to be having, but I have to do the difficult inner work. So I would recommend for you to start with the 3-week nervous system reboot. That's a great place to start for nervous system work. If you want to start changing your core beliefs, the basic babe bundle is still, I call it my trigger mastery, still a great place to start for that. And with 24% off, you guys can use the code as many times as you want if you want to kind of bundle those together for yourself. What else is coming up for you as you're hearing this conversation? Oh, there's another conversation I want to have. We'll see if I'm going to turn that into a separate video. There was a really delicious conversation I was having with a friend yesterday that I wanted to bring onto this platform and have with you guys. Can I share another vulnerable thing actually before I do that? Hopefully this is coming from a good place. I hope not to offend anyone. But you know it's going to be good when I start off with that, huh? But let me say it. So all my life, I craved like really deep conversations. I rather have a deep conversation with one human being that just lights up my soul than like shallow conversations with millions of people. That's just my person. I know people are different. Like I have family members, they're like, do not talk to me and anything deep. I rather just talk about the weather. And that's okay. None of it is wrong. That's just how I've always been. And I found that at university. And then when I graduated, I didn't have that for a while. And then there were like some people I would find that with. And so there was this like longing in me. And I think that's why I started this YouTube channel. Even though I started it with hauls and superficial things, it quickly led into deep conversations because that's my heart. That's what I love talking about. Well, recently, this year, I hit the gold mine of being able to have those conversations with people. I ended up being in circles where all we do is talk about really, really, really deep stuff. Like most people do not have the nervous system capacity to talk about the things we talk about. Like it's deep stuff. And because of that, I have felt kind of lackluster with YouTube. Because YouTube first was filling that cup for me. But because now I have people that have done like really intense inner work themselves, and it feels so like full and nourishing to be able to have conversations with people that I actually like know and they can hold that same space. I started feeling like, do I even want to continue posting on YouTube? Because one of the things YouTube always says, and this is like this, there's many videos out there from YouTube actually saying this, and they've said this to me over the mentorship they've provided me over the years, is that if you want to be successful on YouTube, speak to a 3rd grade level. That's what they maintain. That's what they say. And so if you, like, for example, the channels that speak to 3rd grade female consciousness, bad news, gossip, fear, he did this to me, she did this to me, like that kind of a vibe, they thrive. They have millions of followers. But that doesn't light up my soul. I've never been able to do that. I really struggle with that. And I've really questioned, can you just freaking do it, right? This is what YouTube is saying. I can't. I don't want to. That is not how I want to use my time on this planet. I don't want to gossip. I don't want to scare you guys into stuff. I don't want to throw people under the bus. Like, that's just not me. I don't want to do that. And then it was like, oh, YouTube is like burying my content. It's not really getting the traction that it deserves. And then I'm feeling full in this other place. And so I've also been contemplating, do I want to continue my presence on YouTube? That's something I've been seriously thinking about. And I was praying on it even this morning because I don't know the answer. I don't know. However, one thing that did start coming in today, which we'll see what comes of it, was this knowing that what if you become the one that brings those deeper conversations that you're having with people to the platform? But the problem is that most people don't have the nervous system that my friends have because they haven't been doing this kind of inner work. They can't hold these conversations. They twist them, they turn them around, they go into victimhood, they go into blaming. They just don't, like, I'm not blaming them. They don't have the nervous system. They have the nervous system of the third grader that YouTube keeps telling me to make content for. Do you know that I'm so embarrassed of saying this. I don't know if I should say this publicly, but I've been ghosting my YouTube coach for the last few months. I know. I'm embarrassed. I'm embarrassed. Yep. Because I'm just like, stop telling me I need to make content for the third grader. I can't. That's just not who I am. I can't do it. And so I think this is gonna be a test. I'm gonna bring some form of the conversations I'm having in my inner circles. They're so, oh my God. These are like, I imagine that when the top leaders, the male leaders would go and sit in the rooms, like the Einsteins of the world, these are the Mahatma Gandhis and the Martin Luther Kings, this is what they would be talking about. Those are the conversations that we're having. And for the first time, women are even allowed to have these conversations or think honestly about them because we're not in survival anymore. But my question is YouTube ready, or is that content just going to be buried? Because I refuse to act like a third grader. Where do you want to go instead? I'll follow you wherever. I think I'm kind of already in those places. Like, I have a podcast and I'm like, maybe I should just have these discussions on podcast, right? But then I can't receive the feedback that I do with you. And I like having a two-way conversation like this, where you can comment and we're talking. I'm definitely having those conversations in my closed circles, in my paid containers, in Kainat, 99 Realm, like we're stepping the game up. And so I'm now in that field where I'm like, I've been playing in the safe zone because I've had this judgment that people are not ready. And people have shown me they're not ready. Look what's happening on YouTube right now. All women are doing, like, we've been given the biggest blessing of our entire genetic history, our entire Homo sapien history, to not only have a voice, but be legally allowed to use it on a platform where millions of people can hear us. And what we're doing is bashing other people and gossiping. That's what we're doing with it. Like, I want to throw up when I think of that. I'm so freaking disappointed in humanity. That's what we're doing. That's what we're doing. And in my real life, the friends that I have, we're talking about saving the world. We're talking about ending hunger. We're talking about creating situations where women rise. And then I come onto YouTube and I see this crap. And so this is where I'm at right now. This is where I'm at, where I'm saying, my gosh, is the world ready? But here's the thing, the Einsteins, the Martin Luther Kings, the Mother Teresas, the Oprahs, they were always ahead of their time, weren't they? And so I've had to go first when people don't seem to be ready. Not everyone's ready. And so I'm going to have these conversations in my close circles for yes, like for sure, those women are ready. I'm going to start playing on my edge. Because what I've done is contain myself and say, well, I'm not going to talk at a third grade level. I don't know what YouTube is going to think that I publicly just announced that I've been ghosting them. But I'm just not even available for a third grade level conversations. Like, I refuse to freaking do that. I'm sorry. But what I have been doing is still maybe playing in a comfort zone of what I think you guys are ready for. But what would it look like if for the next 3 months I committed to playing on the edge? If you think I have been politically incorrect before, what if I went more in? What if I went more counterculture? What if we actually started healing on a bigger level? The thing is that before that happens, there's going to be a greater divide. The delta is going to keep growing. I think that you will find a whole new tribe of deep thinking followers. You taught us that we should just show up in our authentic self, and the people that want it and need it will come. Yes. Yes. And I think the game that I have to play is being able to convince the YouTube algorithm that I'm still playing the third grade game while actually having deeper conversation. This is a conversation I was having with some of my friends, that how can I, because the algorithm is AI, right? It's an algorithm. It's a system. So my thumbnails and my titles need to act like they're gossiping, and like so that they still show my content to people, and then have the real conversations. I'm gonna have to clickbait people into having real conversation. That's what I'm gonna have to do. That's what we're gonna have to test out over here. I'm gonna have to stop like acting like I'm above the clickbait and just play the game that it needs to be played so that we can actually start healing the planet. Because this is the first time that we've had this voice. This is the first time that we've been given this power. Let me actually share with you the next conversation. This I'm switching into a different conversation, but this is deep stuff. Deep stuff. This is like huge. So one of my friends and I were having this conversation yesterday. We are now the biggest female leaders right now, the top leaders, the top leaders. We are switching into from saving people, saving women, to empowering women. And the story that she shared yesterday was such, I was like, you hit the nail, like you got it. Like this story just showcases everything that I teach you guys and everything that I talk about. Okay, so I grew up with my parents being savers. They were drowning themselves, but they wanted to save everyone. Did they save everyone? No. Did they drown themselves? Yes. Because they were not at safety and they were trying to save other people that were drowning. And so those people ended up using them as rafts and drowned my parents. That's what happened. I got caught in the crossfire. All of the abuse and everything that happened in my childhood, the sexual trauma, happened because my parents were trying to save other people. Well, not knowingly, I inherited that from them, whether you want to call it DNA inheriting or epigenetics, conditioning, environment, but I ended up picking that up. And so when I would encounter people in my life, my instant reaction was to just save them. And not only did I not save them, I might have given them money or helped them in some way, but it was momentary because I didn't really help them long term. I didn't empower them, because charity doesn't empower people. It just gets them through the day. That's all it does. And then I had to really step into this. There was a next awakening, and I was like, you know what? I'm tired of saving people. I'm going to stop saving people. I'm going to empower people. And this really goes back to don't give them the fish, teach them how to fish kind of a thing. I stepped into that. I started seeing people in their power and saying, no, I will not give you money. However, I'll teach you how to make money. Because then you're never going to have this issue again. And some people loved that. And a lot of people didn't. A lot of people didn't. Because those people didn't see themselves as powerful people. And they were pissed that I was seeing them as powerful people when all they wanted was to be seen as victims. So let me share the story that my friend shared with me. So one of my friends had, her daughter's friend, her mom is an immigrant and very hard worker, very, very, very low income. And so my friend, who was very successful, top leader in the industry, super, super wealthy, successful, her daughter has this friend whose mom is really struggling. And they were supposed to go to the school event or something like that. And the other mom's car broke down. And so she called my friend. And in that moment, I can so relate to this. When she was talking about this, I was like, I know that feeling. All she wanted to do, my friend, was just buy her a new car, give her some money. She wanted to just save this woman and to solve her immediate problem. Why did she want to do that? Because it was very uncomfortable for my friend to see this person in need when she has all this money. But because my friend has been doing massive in her work, she paused and she said, I'm actually not going to end up helping this woman. Even if I got her a new car, first of all, I'm going to disempower her because charity disempowers people. Now she's going to end up creating this like hierarchy of like, I'm up here and you're down here. It's going to impact their relationship. And also, how does that actually help her long term? She hasn't learned anything new. So what my friend did instead was she paused and she stepped into leadership. And the first step was to see this woman in her power. Even though she's in the side of the street calling my friend, she paused and she saw her in her power. And she said, okay, let's get you off of the street first. How much money do you need me to loan you? And of course, it broke her heart to even say that. And immediately that woman stepped up and she said, I need $100. I'll pay you back. She's like, got it. So she gave her $100, put her on her own AAA and got her the help that she immediately needed. So like immediate help, getting her out of crisis situation. And then she went into leadership. She started telling her, hey, what company do you work at? This company? Okay, go to the HR department of your company and ask them this, and see what kind of benefits you have. Okay, if you're gonna buy a new car, don't go now, go at the end of the month because that's when you're able to negotiate a higher price. She started giving this woman all of this resources. And this woman, her friend, she was like, yes, thank you. She started teaching her about how to negotiate a car to get the best price, how to talk to HR to learn what your benefits are in this kind of a crisis situation. And within a day or two, that woman had all of these resources, had paid my friend back $50 of the 100 that she loaned her, and now had all of this financial information, and she felt so empowered. So empowered. And she was telling her, I've never actually had someone to have these kind of discussions with. Thank you so much for seeing me in my power and teaching me this stuff. And she told my friend that she's going to go teach her family members too. All immigrants who also don't have access to this kind of information. They don't know that HR has benefits that they could unlock. They don't know how to negotiate a car deal. They don't know the best time of day to go or time of the month to go and buy a car. They don't have access to that like my friend does because she's gone through that journey already. She is now in a position of power and leadership to lift other people actually up. And when she was sharing the story, I could so resonate. And I told her, I said, I feel you because everything in me would have wanted to just save this woman. But I wouldn't have empowered this woman. I wouldn't have empowered her. This woman ended up changing not only that woman's life, but created a ripple effect. Now her family has access to financial information that they didn't moments ago. And now that woman's daughter, her life has changed. And that's why I stopped saving people. Stories like this and started empowering women instead. It is not my job to save you. I refuse to see you in a position like that. I see you as a powerful person. Even if you don't see that for yourself yet, I see you in your power. I see you in your power. And I can lead by example. I can teach you the things that I know, but I know that at the end of the day, it is you that will save you. It is you that has the power. It is you that is going to lead yourself out of the situations that you're in. That's the lesson. This has been 44 years of learning for me and still learning. There are still times in my life when friends will call me, family members will call me, I'll have clients, and my go-to reaction, that's not what we want to follow, is I just want to solve all their problems. But am I really solving all their problems by doing that? Or am I disempowering them? Am I robbing them of their power? Am I claiming, Mina gets to show up and save you? but it is still my go-to reaction. But what do? I pause and I respond instead. If you look at the word responsibility, what do you notice about the word responsibility? Could you write that in the chat for me? What do you immediately notice about the word responsibility? In the famous words of Spider-Man, with every, or I think it was his uncle, with great power comes great responsibility. We are now women in power. We are now women with influence and power and money and a voice. Well, that comes with the responsibility, which means my ability to respond, not react, respond. Response is in there. Yes, Nicole, nailed it. The ability to respond, which means that I need to make sure that I'm taking care of myself, regulating myself on the daily, contemplating deep topics, applying them to my own life, and then showing up as the leader that God has designed me to be. My ability to respond, that's everything. I am not a collection of reactions, of triggers. I am a woman in a position of power, which has been generations late, huh? Finally, we have the ability to use our voice in a way that actually moves the needle on this planet, where millions of people can hear us. What great power. But responsibility doesn't have the word reaction in it. It has the word response. I'm late, but I'm here. Hi, Cece. And that's what we have to do. That this is the next generation of female leaders, which is actually first generation. If you really think about it, we don't have a whole lot of examples of this. Do you know that we are the first generation in human history to be on the internet? So not only did God say, okay, it's time for the divine feminine to have its moment, let's rise women, but he also said, let's just put them on stage in front of millions of people. It's like, God, could we have had a couple of years, couple of generations of practice without being on the stage of social media? No, he's like, let's just throw him in the fire. Let's just push him in the pool. That's what he did. And here we are. Here we are. I personally would have really preferred it if God said, let's just have like 5 or 6 generations, maybe 200 years where they got to practice not on social media, and then we'd send them to social media. Nope, that's not what he did. He's like, let's just give them the rights and like kick them out there all in the same generation. Like WTF. And a lot of people are going to drown in this because they don't know how to cultivate the ability to respond. All they have is a collection of daily reactions. That's all they have. That's all they have. They think they're leading. You are the energetic match for some people, but those are not people that are looking for leaders. They wouldn't know leaders if it hit them in the face. They're looking for drama. They're looking for gossip. They're looking for the things we've been doing, you know? Okay, we've been doing that. We've got a lot of history of that. You can do that, no judgment from me. That's not what I'm planning on doing with my gift, my voice. Laura said, Mina, I found out my cleaner was stealing from us. She stole 4,000 USD and spent it, so can't give it back now. Would reporting her to the police be a way to empower her? How can I empower her? So you exercising your boundaries and the legal things that you need to do, that's not you disempowering her. That's you empowering her. Consequences, natural consequences, are a form of empowerment. What would be wrong is if you went online and started like bashing her business, because that's not gonna help her. But reporting her to the authorities, having a conversation with her and saying, I'm really disappointed. I really enjoyed working with you, but you've stolen from me. Doing the things you need to do, that's the right response. Because now she has natural consequences. She's not gonna do that to other people. And then you're putting in the people in charge that are actually the ones that's supposed to be dealing with this. You're not taking matters into your own hands. So I'm all about boundaries. I'm all about working with, like, I have terms and conditions in my company that if someone broke them, I follow what they are. But I don't react by being triggered and like making videos about them or none of that stuff. That's not going to empower them. But I take the actions that I need to do that are natural consequences. So in the country that I live in, stealing is a crime, and yeah, that needs to be reported. Your voice alone heals. Thank you, Glow. I appreciate that. So you empowering her. I have a similar story like this. It wasn't as extreme, but I have a story, and I'm going to be very mindful how I tell this story because this woman actually follows me. So I'm not going to reveal any names. That is out of integrity for me, but let me try to see how I want to tell the story. I want to be respectful of her. Okay, so here's how I'm going to tell the story. A couple years ago, I found this business that I was super, super excited to shop from. You guys know I love shopping. I love investing in things. And I loved her stuff that she was selling. And in the first time I shopped at her store, I had this gut feel. I have a very strong intuition that I was being charged more than the other people in that store. Now, I have no problem paying people for their services, but what bothered me about this is that the other people in the store with me at the same time paid less than I did. And the reason that I paid more is because she figured out who I was and she knew that I had the ability to pay more. How I would have liked the situation handled is for her to say, wow, I can't believe Mina shops here at my store. I want to raise my prices. And if she had gone and raised her prices for all her merchandise where everyone paid the same price, I would have loved that for her. I would have taken that as a victory. Like, oh my God, where if I go to a store, they raise their prices. Wow. So because I couldn't confirm in the first time that this happened, I said, Mina, just let it go. And I let it go. I was very happy with my purchase. The next time that I went to the store, the same thing happened. The tags were changed and I ended up paying more than the other people in the store at that time. And this time that I was able to confirm it, I felt very uncomfortable. And my reaction was to never shop at the store again. I already told you guys that when my reaction, my nervous system dysregulated state is flight. Can you see the flight in that? And so I paid what she was asking me to pay, which was more than I should have. I went in my car and I took a deep breath and I calmed myself down. I regulated my nervous system and I went home. I enjoyed the items. There was nothing wrong with the items. And I sat down and I started journaling on how I wanted to respond to this. And what I came up with was that I would be not doing anything wrong if I stopped shopping at her store. There's plenty of other stores. I live in shopping heaven in Houston, right? I said, that's an option, Mina. That is an option. But something in my heart kept telling me that I actually really like this woman. I think that something in her is causing her to act out of integrity. Maybe she's not used to working with clients like me. And I sat on it for like weeks. And what I decided was I was actually going to catch her red-handed. And I was going to actually move with compassion and have a very heart-to-heart conversation. And so the next time I went to her store, I took a picture of the prices and she ripped them off. She did the thing that she does. And I said, I really enjoy shopping at your store. As if in case you can't tell, I love shopping here. I love your items. I want to continue working with you. I want to continue shopping from the store. I noticed that I've been paying a different price. And all of a sudden, you could see it on her face. It was like just that regret, that like red-handed, that like being caught. And she said, I'm so sorry. And she immediately went to the trash can, got the tags out, and fixed it. And I continued shopping in her store and it never happened again. Now, of course, I could have reported it. I could have done all of that. But I had to sit with myself and decide how I was going to approach this. She has become a follower. I'm sure she'll probably be in my containers at some point if she hasn't already. I know she read my book. And in that moment, that's how I decided to move with it. So we always have that option of making sure, like, of course, we always have the option for doing the things that we need to do. Like if there's a crime committed against me, hell yeah, I'm going to report it, right? If someone breaks my company's terms and conditions, of course, I have to, as a leader, I have to hold my terms and conditions. If you don't hold your terms and conditions and your boundaries as a leader, you're not a leader anymore. You're a pushover. People will not respect you. And let me tell you, people won't feel safe with you. Because a company that can't hold their own terms and conditions, who's going to feel safe with that? You think people will feel happy that you're breaking the rules for them, your own boundaries? That does not create safety. And so I'm able to do those things from an open heart. I'm not judging anyone, no need to bash anyone, no need to make YouTube content about anyone, don't have to publicly shame anyone. I can show up in integrity, being the leader that I am, following my own terms, holding them with an open heart and compassion. There's always a reactive way and there's always a responsive way. Leaders choose to respond, they don't react. They can be human. Obviously, they might have human moments, but when they have those human moments, they own them. I've already had to learn that being the mother of 3 kids. There have been points in my journey as a mother where I reacted and then I had to pause, regulate my nervous system and go and apologize. I've learned my lesson as a mother because I'm like, no, that's not what I want to teach my kids. That was a reaction. And then I have had to sit down and say, I'm so sorry. That triggered that motherly fear response in me, and that's not how I should have reacted. I shouldn't have said, your friend is like this. Or I shouldn't have immediately went into trying to scare you into doing what I think is right. We should have had a conversation. Teaching my children responsiveness, responsibility. Even when you mess up, even when you don't show up in integrity, own it. Own it, fix it. That's what leaders do in our work on the stage. You're so welcome, Laura. Us following the laws, holding up our boundaries, holding people to a higher standard, holding people to our rules, our terms, that's us being in integrity and also showing how leadership is done. The thing is, like I said, women don't have a lot of examples of female feminine leadership. So we are all doing the work of the Lord right now, showing them how to do it. Some people are showing them reactions. Some people are showing them how to push other people under the bus, but we're just creating unsafety for women. We're just creating a whole world where everyone's just reacting and reacting and reacting. That's not the type of mother I want to be. That's not the type of wife I want to be. That's not the type of human being I want to be. That's not the kind of friend. The things that I want and really deeply desired in my life require relationships. And relationships require safety. Safety requires emotional intelligence. Can you see why I've had to do inner work? The things God wanted for me, planted the desire for, all required relationships. I have a relationship with you. That's why you buy from my company. I have a relationship with my friends, with my family members, with my children. Relationships require safety. Safety requires emotional intelligence. What does emotional intelligence require? A hell lot of inner work. Let me tell you that. A hell lot of inner work is what's required. Really hard inner work. There's many times where I wanted to just give everyone the damn energetic finger and be like, stop looking at me. I don't want to do this inner work. But then I also wanted those results. So like, what do you do? What do you do? Okay, I want to move into a shop with me. I want to go into celebrating 7 years in the Universe Guru brand, 14 years almost for YouTube. January 11th will be, it was January 14th. I'm sorry, January 18th. I have to look on YouTube. It's January 18th. I'm pretty sure it's January 18th is when I posted my first video. It's my 14 years. I'm turning 44 this week. Like, we have a lot to celebrate. Women have a voice now. Women are stepping into leadership. Women are creating beautiful, bold lives full of love. Women are being celebrated. Women are wealthy. Like, oh my God. Oh my God. Okay, I'm gonna open up the chat in case you guys have questions about, I love your SWMs. Wait, what is that? What is that? Wait, can you tell me what that is before I open the chat to everyone? Also, members first, thank you so much for supporting my channel. By the way, I'm doing member-only lives this week as well. We're doing lots of parties in there. So thank you so much. I'm gonna take questions from you first regarding my courses, my offers. Tell me what SWM means. I'm so bad at like those kind of acronyms, so you have to tell me. Thank you, Nicole. So my 3 core offers are not included in the Alchemy 24 sale, which is 99 Realm membership, Kainat, and All the Things bundle, which is the new version of the University bundle. However, oh, shop with me. Oh my goodness. Duh. Thank you so much. I'm slow. Sorry. Okay, yes. Oh, you said, I love your shop with me. They're so inspiring. Thank you, babe. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you. So questions from you first on what you should buy. If I can answer any questions. This entire week, my email list has been getting potent, fiery emails from me with like comparisons between the different courses. So if you're not on my email list, girl, like, hello, what are we doing? Okay. So hopefully that's been helping you. But if you need me to answer any questions about what would be the the best bundle for you or the best course for you, now is the time. I'll give my members a chance first, and then I will open up the chat. See if you guys have any questions. We've had over 1,000 people shop the sale already with just our email. We gave email people early access to it, and now we're moving into everyone having access. There's another celebration that I haven't told you guys about. So we are celebrating 40,000 students going through my paid programs and coaching containers. So that's huge. Lots to celebrate. Thank you, yay, I appreciate you. Okay, I'm gonna open it up and see if anyone has questions about my courses. I have courses on basically every topic imaginable at this point, over 130 courses. And I know that sometimes it can be confusing. So I can help answer any questions. All right. There we go. If we can keep the questions to the shop with me. So the 3 core offers are not included. However, what I wanted to do with the All the Things bundle, you get all 75 of my courses that are currently on sale, meaning like they're available for people to buy. And what I did for the birthday, I wanted to do something special for All the Things bundle. So if you purchase in November, you get all of 2025's, like any courses that I launch in 2025 will be included in your bundle. And with the All the Things bundle, you also get 4 invitations for the office hours for Kainat. So Kainat, we have 2 office hours a month, along with whatever live courses are happening. And so 4 of those one every quarter, the all the things bundle people will also get to join in on. Mina, I'm so empowered by you. Thank you, honey. I appreciate that. Nicole said, you're doing such amazing work. You have changed lives, Mina. I appreciate you. You're so welcome, Nicole. I love you, girly. It's been a while since we've connected. I think I haven't seen you live in a minute, but thank you so much. How do you balance housework to get a masculine, feminine balance? Do you do it all? I have a whole team at this point. How I used to balance it before is I had a schedule. Before, when I didn't have the business, it was just a YouTube channel and my children were young. Obviously, I have a very supportive husband. My husband's very hands-on, like a husband and a father. My kids are older now, right? And so they help a lot, but I also have a whole housekeeping team, obviously. You can't be a leader and a queen without people helping you. Do you recommend any course to overcome fear of exposure? So I have the persecution wound masterclass, this is going to be for those women that know they have something really important to share, but you're scared of being vilified. You have secondary trauma from seeing other people being vilified. Do you know that people who bash other people online, they're actually creating collective trauma for everyone else that's witnessing that? This is like an evolutionary fact. That's why it was done. That's why witches were burned at the stake, because it was supposed to be to set an example for everyone else. So that creates a lot of trauma for everyone. And then they think they're going to be the leaders of the future. Nope. No one's feeling safe with you, honey. So persecution masterclass is a great one for that. And you get 24% off of that, obviously. I'm going to start posting. There's links in this description box, but if you need, and all of this is on theuniverseguru.com, obviously. But if you need me, or I don't know if I'm going to put links. Did someone tell me that you can't click the links in the chat anymore, only in the comments? Is that true? The sale ends on December 1st. If the persecution wound is not in your budget, then I have a shorter kind of hit of that you can get of like just fear in general, and that's going to be the money come to me play shop. Can someone confirm if you guys are able to click on links that I post or not in the chat, because I'm not going to bother if you can't even click on it. Let's post one and see if you can click on it. Here's the one for persecution wound, which is also known as the witch wound. Someone click and tell me if it's clickable for you or not. Let's see. Mina, you were in my dreams last night, and I was telling you how I can't wait to purchase the CEO Boss Queen, and your eldest son was giving his 2 cents as well. Oh my God, that is the cutest. That to me, CEO Boss Queen is my favorite absolute business course that I've ever created in my life. And the funny thing with that course is that I thought I was like creating a business course. People in there said it changed their relationship. People in there said it changed their sisterhood. People in there said changed the way that they were showing up in their marriage, manifesting money. And it's a business, it's an energetics. But the thing is that when you do energetics work, when you're actually healing, it impacts all areas of your life. So the CEO Boss Queen, yes, we can click. Oh, you can click. Okay. Oh, that's interesting, Valentina. Thank you for letting me know. Okay, so then I will be posting links. The best way that you can get the CEO Boss Queen is getting it in a bundle, because here's why. You get a lot of other courses with it almost free. So for example, if you got the Money, Power, and God bundle, the price of that bundle, like you get so many courses in that, and then it's like it's the same price almost as buying just the CEO Boss Queen. Or the 8-figure bundle, same thing with that. So that's one way if you want to do it. And the code is off. Wait, that's not the right. Is that the right bundle? Posted it for the God course versus the God bundle. Here's the God bundle. Let me see. I'm working on buying the nervous system course by the end of the month. Okay, so when you said what would be the best to buy after it. So what I would recommend is when you buy the nervous system reboot, from there, choose the biggest desire in your heart right now, the thing that has the priority. So if you're like, I want to do inner work, Sacred Feminine might be a great one after that, Basic Babe Bundle might be a great one after that. If you're like, no, I really need to just focus on my business, then I would choose one of the business courses. So the nervous system reboot and the basic babe bundle are designed to kind of be the foundational work for all my other courses. Now you can buy any of the other courses or bundles and start there if you feel like you have enough inner resourcing to be able to do that. But if you're like, no, I can't like feel safe in my own body, then I would start with those two first and then bundle on something else with it. The thing that you really need to like work on, like desire to create. CXT said, you mentioned a valuable idea to me the other day about my accounting firm, advising me to include spirituality and numerology into my business and not to create a need, but a desire instead. I'm so glad that that resonated with you. I think that was on the other channel, huh? When we were talking about spiritual business. By the way, this whole week is going to be a whole week of live streams. I'm going to be celebrating the hell out of my company, myself, the courses, you guys, like all the things. And so there's going to be on the Million Dollar Babes channel, we're going to be doing business calls. I polled you guys in my channel on Instagram to what you want to talk about, and this was one of the options, and then creating like a cash injection in your business was an option too, and most of you guys said you want both, so I'll do that video either today or tomorrow on the other channel. Hi, Mina. I would like to purchase all of your courses. However, as a student, it is financially challenging for me, and I would like to ask how I can manifest money to purchase them. So you're going to have to use your own self-leadership to be able to do that, right? So I like to, when I decide that I'm having something, I just make that decision that I'm buying this no matter what. And then I wait for ideas. So this is when I didn't have the money that I have now. I would wait for the downloads to come in. If I said, I want to buy this, however, I've just negated the desire. So I would say, I am buying this. God, I'm getting this. And then the ideas would come in, and then I would go and make the money and be able to invest in it, or someone would give me the money, or something would happen. And so there are, our site, our platform provides payment plan options through Klarna, Affirm, and Afterpay. And I believe that education is what I consider good debt, because you're investing in yourself and you're going to compound on that. I had university debt. Irfan paid it off when we got married. And I had to get financial like loans to be able to put myself through university. So I believe that has served me. Obviously, I'm still using my education. So I believe that's good debt. So we have Affirm, Klarna, Afterpay. We also have PayPal, which PayPal, depending on your account and your credit history with them, also offers payment options. That's one option. And so first you need to decide that you're doing this, and then the ideas will come. When we say, however, or make excuses, right, we're not going to be able to do it. It was on the other channel, yes. What is the difference between arouses love and gut level response? So the arouses love is kind of a taster menu about like, it's like an immediate kind of a thing to learn the core principles that I teach to get in a healthy relationship with a man, or take it to the next level if you're already in a relationship, right? And then the gut level response is a little bit deeper. We're kind of like zooming in. It's a bigger package, meaning the content is a little bit deeper, versus the arouses love. It's you're getting like a taster menu of my bigger principles, if that makes sense. It's a great place for people aroused as well. If someone's like, I've never taken anything from Mina, I want to get a taster of her teaching style, that would be a great place to start. What would be the best course to help you find your purpose? To me, purpose begins with healing enough to have access to our intuition. So I would say the Sacred Feminine Intensive is a great place to start. Thanks so much. I actually have been doing that for so many things, but I think I should be more responsible. Yeah, we do that. What's the more responsible thing to do? You know. Is it responsible for you to invest in yourself so you can keep growing? Like, what is the more responsible thing you should do? You know that. I cannot decide that for you. Right? For me, the most responsible thing has been constantly investing in myself. I have the saying that I coined that I outperform the market, and that has been the truth for me. So you have to make that decision. Hi, Katrina. This is so funny. I guess I decided I was going to be here for a while. I've got like all of these different various drinks over here. Hi, Mina. What do you think the best course is for 10x my entire life? I have this desire to be in a completely different reality in 2025. I've purchased the 99 Realm and Nervous System Reboot. Love you. Thank you, babe. Love you too. Join me in Kainat. Because this is the closest proximity container that I have that I offer, we meet all the time because not only are there the 2 office hours a month, but there's always something live happening, courses and stuff. And this is where I get to know you, you get to know me on a deeper, more intimate level, and I'm holding you through the whole thing. And then the other women in Kainat, like having access to those women as well, who are creating big things on this planet, who are like leading themselves through all the things, who are in positions of power and leadership themselves, I think that's gold. Join me in Kainat. That one's huge. Kainat is an application. And so let me make this extra juicy for you guys. Whoever applies and gets approved in the month of November, because we're celebrating in November, I'm gonna give you an extra something. There's gonna be a bonus in there for you. But that one is application. And the reason that I'm doing it application only for Kainat, it's because it is close proximity. And because we do all spend so much time together, I want to make sure that the women that are 100% ready to work in that environment, to hold that space and energy, are the ones in there. We love the ones that are not ready yet, and we empower them to be ready one day. But right now, we need a certain level of leadership, self-leadership at the very least. So that's what we're doing in there. We want to make sure it works for both of us, all of us. Oh, thank you, Maria. I think you're responding to the link. Yes. Here's what I'm going to say about also the question to like help find your purpose. What's the thing that you wish to solve for people? What's the thing that you wish you could help with? What would be a good pathway for Kainat? I'm purchasing Nervous System Reboot. I think you can start anywhere and join us in Kainat. It is application only, so you have to be approved first. I have had women in there that's the first thing they bought from me. And then we have women that bought all these other courses and then they became ready to buy that. We have people that joined the 99 realm and then upgraded to it. We have people that bought, entrepreneur with me and then upgraded. So anyone can join that. You have to be ready. You have to know that you're committing for a whole year of growth, of self-leadership, of being in community with other women as well. So It's you're making a commitment with yourself. So you can I believe you can join from any path. The foundation of it needs to be self-leadership though. Yeah. But the nervous system reboot, every single human being should have that one. Every single person. You want more money? Regulate your nervous system. You want to create loving relationships? Regulate your nervous system. You want to have female friendships? Regulate your nervous system. You want to expand in your career? Regulate your nervous system because that's going to be the weak link. I'm not ready now, but I want to become as prepared as possible in the future. And whenever you are, no rush, but whenever you are, we'll be waiting for you. I know you're going to be ready one day. That's the one that every single human being should have. And in December, I actually made this announcement on my other channel. Some of my students have requested that I add a special something in there for people with the freeze response. And so in December, there's going to be a new lesson added to the nervous system reboot. So if you bought it, it just automatically, once you have a course and I add something to it, you just automatically get it. So that's going to be showing up in your portal as well. Thank you for that heart, Christian. Appreciate you. What else is coming up for you guys? If I can clarify any other courses, bundles, offers. This is the time to ask. If you go to my website, I've also have it set up. Let me see, actually. It's been a while since I went to my own website. That is funny. TheUniverseGuru.com is our website. So when you go in, you see the birthday sale thing, and then you see the 3 core offers, which is 99 Realm, 1-year mentorship in Kainat, and then all the things bundle, which right now I feel like all the things bundle is like my favorite thing ever because you get all of my courses. And if you buy it in November, you get all the courses for 2025 as well. And then if you scroll down, there's also like some links to some of my more popular courses like Nervous System Reboot, Money Come to Me, Profit from Every Post. And then if you go down further, you get categories. So there's basic, like it's through categories, basic bake bundle, self-aware Barbie. You can buy through like the stages, or you can go into like relationship courses, inner alchemy, entrepreneurship. So there, it's also categorized that way for you guys. Yeah. I have the nervous system reboot and notice that I have all the responses depending on the topic. What does this mean? That means that you're healing. We want to be able to use all of our responses, but not all of our reactions, right? We don't want to react, we want to respond. That's the purpose of inner work, is we're not living in we're not just a collection of reactions. So if you can use all of them and you're responding and not reacting, you are healing. That's you healing. Remember, all of those states, all 4 of them have gifts and shadows. What is the end of struggle about? So the 21 day end the struggle is a collection of 21 things that help regulate your nervous system. They're exercises and practices without talking about the nervous system. I'm just giving you the exercises. The nervous system reboot also teaches you about why we're doing what we're doing. It's more for the nerdies. When you're buying, like me, I'm a nerd, so I admit it. When you're buying the nervous system reboot at the checkout, you'll receive a order bump option where you can add on the 21 day and the struggle for a very low price. It's like a special offer at checkout. By any chance, do you feel like meditating now? Wine, if that's something you need, we can certainly do that. Do you guys feel like you need a meditation? Maybe some nervous system grounding? We can do that if that's what you need. Mina, I just wanted to say that I love talking about your videos and highly recommend them. Unfortunately, not many of my friends and family speak English, but they would definitely benefit from it. So, Adelina, I've been notified from YouTube that both of my channels have been selective in their beta test of um, foreign dubbing. So, I think it's already started, if I'm not mistaken. And what's happening is they're dubbing my videos in various languages. And I think it's already started. They just notified me last week that I was one of the few channels that were selected already. Eventually, every YouTube channel will have this. So what's going to happen is there's going to be AI dubbing over my voice in various languages. The reason that I think it's already activated is that yesterday someone left a comment saying, "This is the first time I've heard you in Spanish." I don't speak Spanish. So I'm assuming that it's already started. So now people will be able to hear me in various languages. I cannot even wrap my head around this, that we live in a time where AI is going to dub over my voice now in various languages and people from all over the world can watch me. Like, OMG. I think it hasn't even hit me yet. Mina, can you describe the feeling of true financial wealth as you've experienced it? What helped you raise your frequency to this feeling? So for me, it's been, oh, the dubbing has started, honey. So my videos are dubbed. I wonder if I can hear them. Like, how can I hear them? That is hilarious. So apparently they said that they're gonna keep the tone. So if I'm like worked up somewhere, the AI is gonna try to follow my tone of excitement or like whatever the thing is. I think it's hilarious. So, okay, going to the feeling of financial wealth, what helped me do it was inner work. So I did not feel safe in my body. And so when you don't feel safe in your body, you feel unsafe with money, you feel unsafe with love, you feel unsafe with abundance, you feel unsafe with health. So I had to, the inner work, the more inner work I've done, the wealthier I've become. But it's inner work and also my desire to be wealthy. Some people do inner work, but they have beliefs that wealth is not good or money is evil. Then they're not going to be able to manifest it because money doesn't like to go to places where it's considered evil or bad or it's resented. This is so exciting. As a science student who is working with AI, I'm thrilled to hear that. Yeah, I was like over the moon. I first thought it was just my main channel, but then I got an email for a both channel saying we started activating it. And I was like, oh, it's in both channel. Yes, yesterday I was shocked when it started in Hindi. No way! I want to experience it too. Maybe I have to like log off and like go and watch my videos because for me, I don't know. Yeah. Is there something that you do on the channel to activate it or is it automatic? I am so happy because now you guys can watch Pakistani dramas when those get dubbed. You remind me of the female version of Andy Elliott. I don't know who that is, and I'm assuming hopefully that's a compliment. Mina, I'm super grateful for your 24% discount. I've bought 3 courses and I'm looking forward to 10xing my life this upcoming year. Thank you. You're so welcome. I'm so happy. Yes, I knew that this was going to be the last year that I do that, as I am taking my company into a different direction next year. However, I wanted to give everyone this one last opportunity to use the discount. So I'm so happy to hear that you were able to use it and are enjoying it. Yeah, I can't wait to hear those dubbed voices. It should depend on the region. You can also open your channel in private mode and change the region as well. Yeah, I'm just very curious. It would be so funny to hear myself in a different language. It's automatic. Okay, wonderful. Wow, I'm very impressed. Can you believe the freaking times that we live in? Now women who don't speak English will be listening to my content. Like, OMG, what? I'm just in awe of the time that we get to live in. Like, thank you, God. Wow. And think about the access. Like, I can now hear people whose channels are not in English, I'm also assuming. That is going to be fantastic. And when I heard about this news, I was more excited about Pakistani dramas being dubbed than my own channel. And it's because I can't wait to recommend more. We need a reaction video for hearing your own dub. Oh my God. That would be hilarious. Except I would have no idea if it's actually accurate or not. Would that drive me crazy? I don't know. Oh my gosh. Because I wonder how it would dub over some of like the weird woo-woo stuff I talk about. Like when I call people like in peasant consciousness, like how would it do that? Or the energetic finger, like what would it say for that? I'm embarrassed. I'm actually excited to watch Middle Eastern influencers. All right. Oh my God, this is so fun. I am obsessed. How fun will that be? Divine feminine era. Yes. Yes. In the 99 realm, starting in December, we've been doing metaphysical content for the last 6 months. But in December, we're going to move into more relationship content as well, because leaders need relationship content. People that are leading themselves, people that are leading other people. We want to make sure that we're using healthy relationship skills in our female friendships, in our business, in our romantic relationship, with our kids, with our neighbors. So I'm going to be adding more relationship, like really deep level stuff in there as well. Kind of like what I presented in Divine Huck, which is an amazing masterclass, by the way. Oh my God. If you want to know like your God-given rights as a woman in a relationship, it's good for men too, actually. That one's fantastic. Let me throw up the line for that one. I haven't talked about that enough. That's a great one. That's a really great one. As a French, it would be so amazing to hear you in French. Yeah, I'm not cur I don't know how many languages. Like I know that their subtitles are in like 97 if I'm not mistaken. So I'm curious how many languages they do this. We as women now have everything to take our power back, 1000%. That's why it hurts my heart when I see women gossiping, throwing, it's like, that's what we're gonna do with our power. Like, seriously? Like, this is the first time we've been given this. Like, come on, we can do something better. Let's use our voice to uplift ourselves and uplift other people, not bash people. That's not what the planet needs more of. We've done that enough. Can we stop with that? It's getting old. And what you attract is the energetic match for that crap. So let's not do that. Let's really just create a place of realness, authentic feminine power. Like this is the first generation that has had this voice in this way. Let's make the most of it. I'm so excited for what's unfolding. Anything else coming up as I let you guys go? I'm going to be live almost, I think probably every day this week. Maybe not Thanksgiving, but other than that, yes, we're going to be celebrating. We're going to be doing lots of shop with me. We're going to talk about leadership, emotional intelligence, relationships, money on my other channel, business on my other channel. That's why I haven't done any videos, because before the work, it would have come from a bad place. Katrina, you are ready now. I love you for that. I love that you're conscious. I love that you've been doing your inner work, and the world is also ready for your voice. I'm so proud of you. I have been wanting to start YouTube and you empowered me today. I think it is finally time for me. Do it, babe. Everyone needs your voice. Everyone needs your voice. We need the future leaders to be people that are doing inner work. We've had enough leaders that are reacting and not in their power and disempowering other people as well. We need people that are conscious to be in positions of leadership and influence and power. That's what we need. And the world is changing. I know in the circles that I'm in, that's what we have. It's the most beautiful, divine thing to experience in other people. Okay, Honey said a meditation before ending. Let's do it. Okay, I'm gonna sit back. If you're able to do so, just close your eyes gently, or just at least soften the gaze if you're able to do so. And we're just going to notice our breath, becoming mindful of how we're breathing. And then asking ourselves gently if there's any adjustments that need to be made. I want you to now notice the contact points of wherever you meet your chair or your bed, the contact point of your back against the back of your chair, perhaps, or your feet on the ground. Noticing how that contact point feels. Is there a temperature to it? Is it cool or warm? Is there a texture? I want you to now soften into that contact point just a little bit more, letting the chair just hold you, melting into it. Become aware of the places in your body that feel good right now. Any comfort that you can see or feel. So you've identified it, pulling on that thread, amplifying it. And as you sit into that place of comfort, notice if there's anything that your body wants to do. Is there any stretching or movement? Not forcing anything, just seeing if it naturally wants to move or rock. Maybe you want to hug yourself gently, rocking back and forth. You can try gentle touch. Just testing what feels good and comforting. We can also add in some sounds and see if that helps. Maybe start with a little bit of humming. See how the vibrations feel. For some of you, that's going to feel good. And for others, it's not going to feel good. Just practice and see if it does. And if it doesn't, you can stop. Any place else that wants any movement, any rocking, stretching? How do you feel? And whenever you're ready, you can start becoming aware of your room and your presence in it. Even with your eyes closed, you can intuit your room and the things in there that you love. And whenever you're ready, you can softly start opening your eyes very gently and start taking in your environment. Noticing any shapes or colors, maybe your favorite items in the room. Looking around, orienting yourself. And I would love to hear how that felt for you. You're such a fire sign. I'm a Leo and a Sag moon. So I love your Sag fire energy. Thank you. My rising is actually Leo. I think you know that already. But yeah, thank you. I love that you've gone back to your Million Dollar Babe channel. What's your favorite form of inner work right now? And going into the new year, my favorite form of inner work. I think I've needed all of it. Um, my favorite. I would say parts work. That's been my favorite for at least a decade. Nervous system and parts work. This is great. I'm so proud of myself. Yay! Yes, thanks to you. Honestly, I've been listening to you for years and healed a ton. Oh, Katrina, and that makes me so happy. Women in their power. Yes. When we heal women, we actually heal the planet because women create the ripple effect. It is our wombs that carry the trauma that infects our children. It is also our nervous systems that have the ability to co-regulate everyone else on a whole different level. Yeah. When I was humming, I wanted to cry. Why? You're moving emotion. So I talk about this in my nervous system reboot. You want to, whatever emotion comes up, allow yourself to release it. Make yourself a safe vessel for all your emotions to express in a healthy way. We don't want to hot potato them or react with them. We want to express them in a healthy way so they get to move through. That's you creating capacity in your nervous system and safety to be able to do so. Yeah. All right, loves. Thank you so much for spending your day with me. I appreciate you so much. And I will see you in all the places. Bye.